Really,
Anand Ranganathan, in your opening comments, you alluded to Kunal Kamra's political point of view. The fact is, should that matter? I mean, he has a very clear set of politics. Shouldn't people be able to disregard that? I mean, ignore him, listen to him, maybe even protest or tweet or comment against him? How does it matter? You know, and you made that point that an FIR is not okay, but it almost seems as if he's being targeted by those in power in Maharashtra because they don't like his politics.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he has a very clear political stand. He is, sympathetic or indeed might be a leftist and Congressy or now with the other part of the Shiv Sena. And that's absolutely fine. But, by the logic the previous panelists made that we are still talking about the dictatorship of Nehru. Nehru died 50 years ago. By that logic, we should not be talking about the dictatorship of Stalin or Mao because they also died at the same time. Let's not talk about that. What is wrong is wrong. The person who set in laws that stifled our free speech has to be exposed. Let's not come about saying, oh my God, don't say anything about Nehru because he is Nehru holier than thou. No, what is wrong is wrong. Now, I believe there should be no line drawn, Rahul, when you're talking about where does one draw the line between free speech and dissent. No, there should not be any line. But of course, I have to say this, free speech absolutism, like what I profess, comes with a few commonsensical exceptions. For example, in the name of free speech, you can't divulge state secrets. You can't scream fire in a crowded theater because that physically harms people. You can't incite and lead a mob to violence. You can't defame someone's reputation with false details. That's where defamation suit comes in. All else is kosher. There should be no line.
Absolutely. You should be able to take a joke, laugh if you feel like, or just ignore him. Nasir Abdullah is getting really charged up. He wants to respond to what he's hearing from Anand Ranganathan. So I want to give him the opportunity to do that.
Okay. Yeah, you speak of free speech, sir, free speech, but there are other restrictions. And here is the deal. He has not horribly, and this is the deal, the Shiv Sena and all they are known for indulging in violence. I've been watching it for 40 years. Nikhil Wagre, a columnist in Bombay, his office was like ransacked because he made some statement. The Shiv Sena, they plundered him. So this is gundagardi, man. Grow up. Be nice, be cool. Talk to the guy, and you go to his office and beat up the entire place, smash the whole place. This is goddamn hooliganism, man. Where are you guys living? If you need to go by the law, go by the law. No, this is lawlessness, hundagardi. They come and smash up the place. They set fire. They beat up people. Where are you going? You call this law, and this is the way to deal with free speech? What is the big deal? He has made a comical comment on a situation that happened, and it's true. Mr. Shinde went into a conspiracy with other folks, hid his number, had his fun, so why can't somebody talk about it? Everybody knows, the public knows. They're not stupid, but they've got better things to do. They want to go to work, they want to have their little whatever. They don't want to get involved because they said, "ठीक है, politics में ऐसा होता है, करने दो हमारा क्या?"
Okay, Rasik Chopra, we heard from some stand-up comedians yesterday who made the argument that in today's day and age, comedians like Kunal Kamra know that if they go down a certain path, that there could be a real-world backlash. The charge was that someone like a Kunal Kamra did this deliberately. He knows that he's flirting with trouble. He wants to do this because he wants publicity. He wants to be in the limelight. How do you respond to those like Jivishu Aluwali who made that point?
I don't know Kunal, so I can't speak his mind. What I can tell you is that all the comics I know and the ones I admire, the first people we laugh at is ourselves. And the reason we do that is to say that, look, I'm not perfect. You're not perfect. The world's not perfect. And maybe if we laugh about it, it'll be a little easier to bear, right? And one of the first things we train for as a comic is to deal with a heckler. Now, there's two ways to deal with a heckler. One is to get really angry and say, you're an idiot, get out of here. And the other is to say, joke's on you, buddy, you paid to be here. And you can leave, and I promise you, you'll get your money used to fuel my drinking habit, right? So I think this is the art form. The art form is making jokes, and the art form should therefore be received in a similar way. Now, 3 years ago, almost to the date, when Chris Rock got up on the stage of the Oscars and made a joke that I think was in poor taste about Will Smith's wife, Will Smith got up and slapped him, and as a result, Chris Rock made lots of money at his next show, and Will Smith had to come to India and pay penance, right? So I think even from a strategic perspective, if you're on the receiving end of a joke, it makes more sense to be Chris Rock than it does Will Smith. So if you decide to be the Will Smith character in the joke, then chances are you're the one who's going to suffer and you're going to elevate the comedian to a status that he's probably not even looking for. And if he is looking for it, well, that's his politics and that's his life. But if you call it a joke, which is what he's calling it, you're probably better off.
Kushal, may I respond to this? The fact that someone like a Kunal Kamra gets this kind of airspace, mind space, and therefore becomes bigger than he otherwise would have been. And in that sense, he's not backing down. So he comes across to his followers as some kind of a hero, and he's got a lot of mind space which he otherwise simply wouldn't have had if Eknath Shinde hadn't reacted.
Yeah, I agree. The Streisand effect is very much in play over here, and that's what. But the Streisand effect equally applies to the political parties. Rahul, the incentivization in India is of hooliganism, and it's not just what Mr. Abdullah was saying, a kind of party. Congress workers had ransacked, if I remember the name of the story, it was Storia Foods in Mumbai over an advertisement that was allegedly mocking Rahul Gandhi. And at that time, I remember there was a tweet by Bhai Jagtap. He was sharing the video at that time. So this is in Mumbai, by the way. Mumbai Mirror mein ye aaya tha. It was in 2021. Then last year, the Tamil Nadu Congress had said, oh, you are denigrating Mr. Pandit Nehru, who is admired by world leaders. And they had demanded the arrest of a comedian, Balaji. So this is not new. This is a pan-India problem. And see, either we stand for the principle, then it's a difference. And I don't care what Kunal Kamra's political affiliations are. I think it doesn't matter. Kunal is entitled to his political biases. Who cares about that? The problem over here, Rahul, is, Anand is right. The law is the problem. The law itself is a problem in this country. We, keep talking around in circles like a jalebi about isne wo bola, usne wo bola. Bhai, law hai na, law nahi hota raha to ye sab nahi hoga. The problem is today the state, irrespective of the political party, can use 295A, 153A, 124, the sedition law, and many other laws, and they can just destroy your life. And अगर कुछ नहीं हुआ तो BMC तो बैठी ही है क्योंकि हर आदमी ने कोई म्युनिसिपैलिटी का लॉ तोड़ा है इंडिया में. So that is the problem in India.
Rahul, can I just make a quick comment?
Let Anand Ranganathan come and make a quick point. Yes, sir.
Yes, we talked about the law, but let's also, with due respect to the stand-ups, and we have one here, wonderful person, let's not brush all the hypocrisy of these chaps under the carpet. When they say we make jokes about everyone, I'm sorry, you don't. You make jokes about Hinduism and Hindus, but you shirk away from making jokes about Islam. Kunal Kamra deleted his tweets about jokes on Muslims and Islam. Same was AIB. They had to grovel an apology in front of a priest for what they'd said about Christianity. Same with MF Hussain, who said that I apologize for if I may have offended Islam. This is the reality. All you guys who say that we make jokes about everyone are the biggest double standard carrying hypocrites. You don't have guts because you are afraid of Sar Tan Se Juda. That's the honest truth. If you don't accept it, that's fine by me. But then you're a hypocrite.
Let Nasir Abdullah respond to this charge of hypocrisy that certain kinds of joke in anticipation of people being liberal are okay, but certain other kinds of jokes against some other religions are simply self-centered because the kind of calamitous consequences that will follow. Nasir Abdullah.
No problem. No.
Nasir?
Are you talking to me?
Yes, I was. Anand Ranganathan says comedians are hypocritical because there are certain kinds of jokes they simply self-censor on.
Yeah, but I think the main point is this. Look what has happened. Kunal has spoken the truth about a so-called like a conspiracy, which he has with his other friend, and they moved on. So this guy joked about it in a comedy show about other issues as well. He wrapped it up all well. He has spoken the truth. It is true. There was something happening. Now, why should he apologize? And why should he be jailed? He has spoken the truth. He's a bit of a mini Gandhi, but, a bit of an aggressive Gandhi, maybe but he has spoken the truth. Please remember, are we allowed to speak the truth and use it in a comedy thingy? Who will decide what we'll choose on? We can't touch the politicians, however corrupt they may be. We can't touch them because they will come to our office and destroy our office. Gunda Raj will happen and the law has no face to show. The law will not control this. They will allow it. So here's what is wrong with the law, okay? Why don't you use the law to deal with it? Why do you first attack this venue and destroy it? Destroy it because that's what these guys are known for doing. They have a history of 35 years. I've been watching since 1987.
No, but let Advaita Kala respond to the charge of hypocrisy, for example. Most comedians would not crack jokes on judges. I mean, how many people have cracked jokes on the judge against whom so much cash was found? They'll just be very careful because judge ye jail dal dega. But okay, a politician, so there is a certain element of hypocrisy. The fact is, against particular religions, they'll be very wary because of the kind of consequences there are globally. Against some other religions, theek hai, thoda mazak uda ke dekhte.
I mean, Charlie Hebdo, we saw what happened there, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it was technically, if you're speaking, it's a satirical magazine. It was a cartoon, but we saw what happened. So there is this delineation, and I think there is. So when we do this big talk about self-censorship and things like that, people are already doing it. They are already doing it. This is not some big fight that we're fighting right now. It exists. And people have been doing it for years for the fear of very real consequences. And frankly, I think, I'm going to reiterate what I said earlier. This is the attention economy. We're unfortunately part of the same circus because we're discussing this. And the bottom line is that this is something that was done for attention. It received attention. Some of it was negative, which was the smashing of that venue. And some of it is positive, like all of us discussing it here and bringing that name in circulation. And frankly, that's what it's about.
No, but how is it positive? You're saying it's positive for Kunal Kamra. The fact is that more and more brands and studios will be wary of associating with him. So I'm not sure how you think of this as being positive. So he gets some more YouTube likes and followers, sure. But if he doesn't get platforms, doesn't get sponsors, doesn't get big stages, then that's a problem.
Rahul, that's the thing, right? If you think entertainment today is not being weaponized and people are not being funded to take certain positions and create certain types of content, then I think I need to, bring that to the fore, that this is definitely happening. So if you're looking at the economic model as only being sponsorships and venues hosting you, that in today's economy, that's a very narrow way of looking at it. There are outfits that will fund this kind of content and will pay good money for it. So, let's not be naive about what's going on here. That's the only thing I want to say. And I reiterate, there's no need to file any kind of FIR or send anyone to jail for this. But let's also call out what it is.
Okay. All guests have spoken. My view generally is, don't like a joke, just look the other way. Just let it be. You file this FIR, you give the man publicity, he becomes much more of a star than he would have been if you just ignored the joke that he cracked. I'm out of time. Thank you for joining us. You've heard different points of view. As always on the NewsTrack, I leave it to you to decide who you think had the more compelling argument.